Good evening. Welcome. Welcome, James with Team Finish Strong. And yes, yet again, we are still doing the Tour de Zwift. We're in stage 7. We're in the home stretch now, getting close to the end. And so they decided to remind us that there's some climbing involved in this series, and decided to stick a climbing stage in again, or at least one with a bit more hills and bumps. And as I was looking through the ride options today, I was going A ride, no. B ride, no. C ride, I guess so. So today is a C ride for me today. I actually was just planning on doing a conversational or a social pace today. So if that's you and you want to join in, you've got 3 minutes, guys. So feel free to hop in. You know, I saw someone who very aptly and succinctly summarized the two general options that you have in these tour events, and that is that the race pace is up front and the party pace is in the back. So I think I will be joining those in the lounge car today in the back, where I'll be having a very nice and leisurely pace, even though there's going to be some climbs to come up. And that is perfectly okay with me. And so we got a couple minutes here before we get started. I don't even know if I'm going to have much of a need for this today, but I didn't even bring a water bottle. I've got just a little thing here as a just in case. But yeah, just going to keep it light and easy today. I have had my training stress accumulate to the point where I think I need to just have an off day sometime in the middle of the week this week. So that's going to be today. If for some reason I feel like spicing it up a little bit, maybe I'll do something at the end. I don't know. We'll keep that as a surprise. But if you are planning on joining us tonight, forgive me, this is not going to be a race. When it's a race, you will know it. I will do a legit race on this channel at some point, probably in the next week or so. You know, barring any of the uncertainties of life that come up. So I've learned to stop making plans, you know, when it comes to certain things. And you know, you just never know how you're going to feel from one day to the next. And you know, when you're racing, you really kind of have to be at a peak. Otherwise, it's just a bad workout. So that's kind of the way I'm looking at things these days. And hopefully I'll take all of this suffering that I've been doing the last couple weeks and put it to some good use and try an event or two. So that is what we're looking to do. So if that's something that you're interested in watching, make sure you do subscribe to the channel so that you get notified, and that way you'll be able to watch it live, just like you're doing right now. We're going to go ahead and switch over to the event, see what we got going on here. All right, we got a good crowd tonight. Very good, very good. We'll go ahead and get things started. But anyhow, I can probably just keep right on talking through the start, because I am seriously not going to be pushing full gas like K or RK wants to do here. But anyhow, you know, to each their own. So it's not often that I'll find myself at the back end of a big event like this. So we'll have to see if this is where all the fun is at. We'll have to see. I know it'll be a lot less suffering. I know that for sure. I'm looking forward to a little change of pace tonight. That last stage I did, I enjoyed it. I always like I said, I always like going up Box Hill, but my body just wasn't feeling it, and I could tell. Heart rate was higher than it should be for the effort, and really could not push anaerobic pretty much at all. I was only able to really do threshold efforts that night. So that was kind of like my first sign that I probably needed to back off on some of the intensity. So that's what we're doing tonight. And everyone has to listen to their own body. If you're young and you're fit and you're indestructible, you can probably trash your body with loads of suffering day after day after day, and not have too many consequences for that. But if you're getting up there in your 40s and your 50s or beyond, like myself, then you have to have a little bit more of a little bit more insights into how you're feeling, what your body's telling you. So that's kind of where I'm at in life, and so thus tonight's stage. All right. Well, it's not too lonely back here, I have to say that. Looking around, let's see, let's take a look back here. We still got, I'm not the very last person coming out the pens, but definitely not with the leaders. They are already gone. In fact, they will probably be finished before I get to the climb, as would have it, I imagine. This will probably, nonetheless, this will probably still be done and over with in the time span of a Super Bowl halftime. So not going to be a very long event tonight. Very short. Only 8.5 kilometers. And if you choose your flavor of suffering to be on the hotter side, it's going to be 10 to 15 minutes of hell. So we'll see. We'll see what it is for me tonight. Not going to be too bad at all. Hey, we got some kudos going on back here. I missed who kudoed me. Sorry. Zwift, you got to fix this, guys. I'd love to have a better way to kudos specific people. My current network setup, unfortunately, does not allow me to use the app to give out the kudo bombs. So I am unfortunately resigned to have to do that. Well, guys, glad to have you joining us tonight. If you're new to the Zwift community or to this channel, feel free to say hello. Don't be shy. Ask your questions. We've got plenty of time to talk Zwift tonight. Plenty of time to talk Zwift. Now, I'll start the conversation with a bombshell, which I'm hoping is just a rumor, because you know how those things are. You can't really believe half of what you read in the Zwift chat. But somebody had said that Peloton was planning on buying Zwift. Anybody hear that? Or did you hear the same rumor that I heard? But let's just play out that theoretical scenario, and get some conversation going. What if Peloton bought Zwift? Is Peloton, first of all, really that big of a company that it could buy Zwift? Zwift is getting hundreds of millions of dollars in funding and investment from folks to build itself up not only as a workout platform, but also as a legit esport venue. So I'm wondering if Peloton could really do that, or would it actually be the other way around? Would Zwift actually be, on the upswing so much to the point where maybe they're the ones thinking about buying Peloton? I don't know. Not really sure. I can see why Peloton would want to buy out Zwift, but my opinion would be it wouldn't be in the best interests of Zwift, the community of Zwift, if they did, because buying out a rival is usually for the purpose of getting rid of them, So I've seen in the past. So I hope that they wouldn't do that just so that they could eliminate potential competition for the fitness space that is cycling. Because frankly, I don't see Peloton and Zwift, their communities, I think, are distinct and separate. I'm a cyclist, But I've never thought once about going to a spin class or a Peloton class. That's not my cup of tea. I'd rather be out there on the roads. And for me, this is like the next best thing. You just don't get the same experience in Peloton. Not to mention their product. Their fitness bikes are super expensive, aren't they? And I'd much rather have a Wahoo bike, training bike, sitting here in my pain cave than a Peloton bike. Just my opinion. But that's my take. What do you guys have to say about that? What's your take on that? Whether it's true or not, what do you think? What would be your insights or opinions? But one thing's for sure, if they are planning on buying Zwift out and killing them, I just hope they wait until after the off season is over for me, so I can get my miles in. Right now, it's probably in the 40s or 30s outside, and it's still getting dark around 6 o'clock here. It's just not enough time to get a good group ride in during daylight. And once upon a time, I've tried some night rides, but the roads around here are not cycling friendly as it is during the day. And I just think my confidence factor would go down even more at night. Between potholes and people driving erratically, I think I'd rather just stay right here in the world of Zwift. You won't see a single car on these roads. Although in Mercury Islands, you do end up driving pretty close to traffic actually in some places. Have you noticed that? You know, it's the first time I've actually ever noticed vehicle traffic riding somewhat near the same proximity as the cyclists in the game. And in fact, can any of you think of places where, other places in Zwift, where you do see traffic? Where do you see traffic in the world of Zwift? I'm not talking about parked cars. I'm talking about moving ones. Well, for me, I was always surprised by the speed of traffic going by in Innsbruck. If you know the big KOM that takes you out of town and back, as you're coming, well, I guess it depends on which direction you're going, forward or reverse, but you know, if you're flying downhill coming back into town and you're on the side with that little highway, those cars and trucks fly by phenomenally fast. But so that always stuck out to me. And I think in the world of Mercury Islands, there is some traffic somewhere. Besides Neokyo, is that what it's called? The little city? There is some traffic. Almost like tour buses that you see driving along. Unless they're trams, I'm not sure. Forgive me. But yeah, so you've got that as well. Those are the two things that I could think of. You know, little Easter eggs, I guess, if you will, in the world of Zwift that I've spotted as far as vehicles are concerned. And then we got the huge monolithic cyclists here in Watopia. That would be amazing if they actually built something like that in real life. That'd be something to go see. All right. Well, this is where the fun part usually starts for those up ahead. But as for me, even though I am breaking out a little bit of a sweat, I think I am not planning on gunning it too much here. So take a sip and we'll relax. Still not in last place, though. We got Zwifters. Let's see where we got Zwifters on the map. There's what it looks like, or at least the nearest, what is it, 100 or 200? I forget what it actually is. So we're comfortably in the bottom third, I guess. And it looks like our first finishers are probably already on the way back downtown. We got a late arriver here, trying to hustle up. I'm trying to keep it actually in zone 2 for me, which is below, I think, 135 beats a minute. That's actually, yeah, that's zone 2. So we'll see. We'll see if I do that here. Otherwise, we really can't call it a recovery ride. Surprisingly, the Zwift chat is really quiet back here at the back. I thought this was the party pace. Oh, well. One thing you'll probably never see me do is do any kind of chatting in Zwift because I am no good at typing while riding. So I leave that to others. Well, folks, thank you for joining us tonight. It's not the most riveting stream, but it can be a preview for you if you wish it to. This is probably a very familiar course, I think, to many, because of the fact that it's right here in the middle of Watopia. It's probably a route that many folks have done, so shouldn't be too unfamiliar, folks. And we are past the worst of it. So if you're trying to pace this route, you know, this is the hardest part, and typically is the part where people make it or break it as far as the group that they're presently with, if they are with a group. But as for me, I've got just one lonely sojourner riding behind me here. And I'm planning on just keeping it nice and steady. And the great news is for me, if I really want to keep this a recovery ride, there will be nobody out here to tempt me to sprint today. There will be, that's my prediction. I'm thinking that folks in this quadrant are a little bit more chill. And I am absolutely okay with that. I don't even know if I'm even going to need this power up. May just burn it off for the fun of it. Well, we have somebody with a tip mark here who stopped mid-ride. Not sure. I've never heard of that name. Maybe they had a mechanical. You know, going back to Peloton here, one thing that I hope does not happen in our Zwift community is like that infamous episode on, what is it, Sex and the City, where the guy says, and just like that, after he did a Peloton ride. Hopefully, Zwift encourages responsible fitness. And I know that's a fictitious scenario, but hopefully Zwift does encourage responsible fitness in its community. I hate to say it, but most of the mishaps that I have had in terms of fitness errors and issues, particularly cardiovascular-wise, have been through the heavy use of Zwift, overuse, I should say. So I can see where it can be taken overboard, because you can, no pun intended, bury yourself on the bike because you're already home. You're not in danger of overdoing it, like I did last year on a hot group ride and getting dropped 15 miles from the startup point, which is what happened to me last year. I was doing a ride in pretty decent heat, but we started early, and but by the time we were coming back, the full sun of the late morning / early afternoon was upon us, and we were going up a false flat that did not provide much wind relief, and I just kind of melted and couldn't hang on anymore. So not only did I lose contact with the group, but I was like, I didn't even want to finish the false flat because it just did not feel enjoyable at any pace, even a walking pace. So I just decided to phone a friend and get a lift. That is, in fact, the one time that I have ever aborted a ride like that. So it happens. It happens. But it can easily happen, I think, in Zwift, where you push yourself harder than you really want to. Especially if you're someone who's competitive like me. Oops, that's me. All right, guys, that's it. We can pretty much coast it into the finish here. I'll do this and burn it off like I said it would. And maybe I'll hit enough speed here to get a super tuck in. Let's see. Those of you who don't know about the super tuck, you need to be about 56, 57 kilometers per hour or faster to get into the super tuck. So like I can do it now, but we're just about ready to come out of it. See? And now we're out of it because the percentage grade changed. Has to be at least, I think, 3% or better. So if you're more than 3% grade and you're going above 57 or 56, 57K, you can do it. And it'll provide an aero saving so that you really don't have to pedal. Now, if you're an A rider and you're really light, you're going downhill in a race, probably not a great idea to use a super tuck, but for everybody else, it's probably not necessarily a bad thing. But with one caution, and that is that you got to watch the grade very carefully, because if you are doing 0 watts and you come out of that super tuck, you're going to go backwards pretty fast. And if you're in a group, you'll be spat out the back mercilessly. And if you're not sure, just check out one of my earlier Richmond videos. I did a race in Richmond where my race was terminated early because of a mistake on a downhill. You know how Richmond, when you're coming out of Richmond towards the 3 hills, you got a nice straight downhill, but there's a flat spot in the middle of it, and I wasn't too ready for that. And the group just totally just took off. I went this way, and they went that way. So I learned a lesson that day. Well, here we go, guys. Hey, a friendly finish. I love it. I'm going to give this person a ride on for, I think this is them, actually. Yep. I'm about to give the wrong person a ride on here. Whoops. I think this is them. Anyhow, that's it. Done and dusted in under 20 minutes, guys. No matter how you slice it, no matter which way you ride it, you can get this done in 20 minutes or less. So if you are time limited for stage 7, then tonight's stage is perfect for you. Just pick the C group, and you will be able to get a nice, easy workout. Didn't even have to turn my fan on tonight. barely touch the water bottle. So you can probably do it while watching TV or reading a book, or maybe even multitasking on the computer. I don't know, whatever your interest is. But that's it for us. I won't keep you guys any longer. You can go ahead and get your rides in if you guys are so inclined, and we'll see you on stage 8. Hopefully I will have the right amount of recovery to be able to do a nice, strong stage finish to this series and tie it off with a nice bow. Well, guys, until then, I will catch you guys later. Have a great one. Take care. God bless, and as always, finish strong.